Good morning.
Good
It happens so
morning.
fast. It always happens so fast. Happy Wednesday. How are you, Katie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really, really well. Thankfully, another week is upon us. Good morning, Karina. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning, Jesse.
Good
um,
morning.
Doing well. It's been busy, as just with everything going on from, helping our clients, helping the agents, just everything is just ah, it's what it seems like. Been talking to a lot more sellers as well. People are getting definitely more excited. They're thinking that, the bubble's gonna burst, type of thing. And so, good morning, Marlena. Thank you
Good
so much
morning,
for joining us.
Marlena.
So, I think that's kind of the talk right now. A lot of people are wondering what's happening in our market, what's going on, what does the future hold, which we all wish we had this crystal ball, right?
Right.
I was actually talking to Katie yesterday. And good morning,
Good
Catherine.
Hi,
morning.
Catherine.
Good morning, Catherine. So, and I was talking to, just letting her know that, sellers right now, it's funny because I had this one seller who is thinking about selling, and I was telling him how fast, the days on the market were 7 or less. 7 days is fast. You don't realize how fast that is, but it is quick. So you got to be ready, definitely. But it's funny because you hear different people's perspectives. And his perspective was, well, if the houses are selling that fast, then that means they're not priced high enough. And I'm like, no, that's not it. So, definitely buyers still, got to be realistic too. Yes, some are willing to pay a little bit above, just dependent upon the home, So, um, but we just, it's all about educating, and that's why we do these things. We want to definitely make sure that, our audiences understand, what's going on in the market. If they have any questions, we're always here to answer them. We study this day in and day out, so we know what's happening, what buyers are saying, if they're pulling back, what's going on with rates. Rates are still amazing. I actually spoke with someone yesterday, and she told me, Sonia, I would have not been able to buy in this market. So I'm glad I bought 4 or 5 years ago when she bought. And I said, really? So we did the math and we did the numbers in comparison, and her payment was actually just about the same if she were to buy today the same home. She was blown away. She couldn't believe it. She said, oh my God, how is that even possible? And I said, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we need to definitely educate everybody out there, because they're coming up with these answers on their own. They don't really know the facts. So what would you do differently if you had the right answers and you knew, right? What do you think, Catherine?
Well, I definitely see that. A lot of people are intimidated by the prices. They don't realize that you do have more buying power right now because of the interest rates being so low. So yes, it is definitely discouraging people. Some people, buyers out there, especially buyers, it is a little discouraging, but I mean, it still can be done. Like you said, definitely. Absolutely. I agree.
It's time. It just takes
Yeah.
time. You got to be patient. The right home will be for you, and it'll come up, and then you're going to say, dang, I wish I would have waited, or I wish I would have, because people tend to give up just when things are going to happen,
Right.
and just when they're that close, or they feel like, wait a minute. And it's funny because we've had buyers where they've gotten their first offer accepted,
Mhm.
and then they're like, I'm not sure if we want to still keep looking. I'm like, wait a minute. Have you not seen what's going on? So
Yeah.
they don't understand it,
Mm-mm. Yeah, I
So
had that happen with one of my buyers as well. We were like, I got them into escrow. I mean, before he even hit the market, and it was like, and then they were like, well, I don't know if I like this house. Can we keep? I was like, oh my God. I was like, but then they're like, thank you so much for getting us this house. We love it. I'm so glad you convinced us to keep it, to stick with it. And I was like, yeah, because yeah, it would have been a longer process if we didn't. But yeah, buyers need to, but if you tell them and you train them then they understand, then they're like not naive to the process. So
Absolutely. And I think them talking to other people too,
Mhm.
they get to realize that, because I know some people will say, hey, I talked to someone at my work and this is what they told me.
Mhm.
And how is it even possible?
Right.
And it's funny because they think that there's some, ulterior motive behind something. And then you're like, no, that's not what it is at all.
Right.
But it's just funny because, like I said, it's just whatever's meant to be. It lines up for certain people. And you'll be surprised because we've had clients who said, I've been through 3 agents, I don't know what's going on. And then they'll come with us and then, boom, it just happens. And then they're like, what did you do that they weren't doing? And it could all be timing, I don't want to say that, we're better than anyone else, but it's timing. And not only that, sometimes it's just they weren't the right person meant to help them either. So, sometimes you can't make certain things fit in, like they say, a square can't fit in a circle. So you just have to, go with it and know that what's meant to be is definitely, going to be, for sure.
Yeah.
So how are you doing with sellers, Catherine? Do you have any sellers who are saying that they want to wait, or is there any other feedback that you're getting from them?
You know what? I have one in currently, and circumstances have changed with them, so they're gonna have to actually stop selling their house.
Oh, okay.
Their job situation. But I mean, I have had other actually potential sellers say, you know what? I like my house. I think I'm just gonna keep it. I'm not gonna like try to go through the process of buying another one, because basically if they sell their house, they gotta find another one. So that they're thinking, well, yes, I'm gonna get all this equity, but then I'm gonna still have to like find another house, and that's daunting to them. And I tried to explain that to them, that it wasn't gonna be as crazy as they thought, but they're like, no, we want to just keep it. So it just depends on everybody's situation, because everybody's different, job situations, what their ultimate goal is. Do they want to stay in California? Do they want to move? Are they, everybody's different. So it just really depends on the seller, what they want to do.
Yeah.
What their ultimate goal is, really.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, for the most part, it should be an exciting time because, who doesn't want to shop for a home? Definitely exciting time. But I think that there is a lot of, it's fear, it's can we do this at the same time?
Right.
How are we, how is this going to happen? So definitely the guidance, the comfort, the reassurance, all that is super, important. It's like, showing, your 1-year-old that it's not, not to be afraid to go to the bathroom. They're so scared because they've never done. So it's the same thing. So it's just being patient, reassuring them, showing them that, it's okay, it's okay. And good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning.
So, but yeah, I see that. I'm seeing that happen. It just really depends, because it's funny because some of the sellers that I talk to will tell me, well, obviously everybody wants to make the most money, of course.
Right.
I mean, and they'll say, well, what about if I should have waited 30 more days and then got more money? I'm like,
oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It's the same thing when you go play blackjack, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You look at it, you're like, I would have done this, but then they roll it, you would have won or you would have lost. So it's kind of the same thing,
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
So-
life is always a risk. Anytime, anything you're doing, it's a risk.
Yes, absolutely. And I know, like, we had a year last year that was definitely different from, for us, being home and, not sure what was going to happen. And it feels good, to definitely, be out. It feels different, being out, and you just it's weird though. Cause I mean, for me anyways, I kind of look around and I'm like, it's just, you don't know. Cause everybody has different minds and different ways of thinking. So
Mhm.
some people don't want you to get too close to them, and it's like you can't even cough even if your throat just itches for no reason, everybody's like so
Yeah.
so I just think it's pretty funny, but we'll take a look at what our market looks like. I mean, obviously numbers don't lie. So numbers are huge for us. So in Chino, in the last 30 days, active listings on the market, 31, pending under contract, 57, 56 have closed. Average list price, 691 with sales price of 703. Again, we're still showing, the increase.
Yeah, that's like Rancho numbers right there.
Yeah, 12 days on the market. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ontario, 55 listings on the market, which is not a lot. 93 under contract, 110 closed,
Mm-hmm.
602 and 604. So the numbers look to be getting closer, which I do want to say that I am noticing that we are overbidding, but we're not, being ridiculous about it either, because there came a point where buyers were having buyer's remorse because they were overbidding so high.
Right.
And then they realized, like, wait a minute, this is insane. I think for a while it was crazy, but I think it's starting to cool off. I mean,
think so too.
yeah, we still have multiple offers. We still have, it's still competitive out there, but it's not ridiculous.
Right.
I think I'm starting to see that as well. So, and I think, again, it goes with educating our sellers, letting them know what to expect during that time. So 23 days on the market here, still great. And Harupa Valley market, 20 active listings on the market, 48 under contract, 39 have closed, 605 list price, 644. Most of these properties have land, and actually, I'm seeing most of them close for above the list price for sure in this particular area. People want land. Why? Because they want to be able to build a back home. That seems to be one of the most sought after homes right now. Is 2 units, 3 units, or a place where they can put maybe their kids in the back. It's like, you got to go pay rent. You're going to pay rent, might as well pay it in my backyard, so, or bring family or what have you. But I am noticing that is something that definitely a lot of people, are looking for.
Okay.
And then here, 14 days on the market. It's great.
Good.
So Katie is filling in for Brenda. So Katie, go ahead. Let us know.
Can you make this any smaller? Okay, the market update for Highland. Does that say 17 new listings?
It does.
The average. I feel like I'm having a high test right now. The average is 488,000. The average days on the market is 16. The average sale price, or is that the listing price? Oh, that I'm getting all backwards. The average listing price is 491, and the average sold price is 488. And the number of the days sold, does that say 44 days?
44 days. Wow, and that seems like a lot of days. I mean,
that
but
does
it could
for
be,
Highland. I'm really surprised. I was just on the MLS today, and I was looking at houses over there. So I'm really surprised.
It could be though. It could be like, I'll give you an example. One of our agents here was in a 90-day escrow. And they didn't put, like, sometimes they don't change it from active, to pending, although they're already negotiating and stuff like that. That happens too.
Yeah.
Or maybe
so
it's contingent that they're trying to find another home or something.
yeah, it could be a variety of things, but
Yeah. Okay, and this is Fontana. 64 new listings. Wow, I'm surprised. The average sold price is 567,000. The average listing price is 554, so it's gone up a little bit. Average days on the market is 13. That's fast. And the number of the houses sold is 133.
That's actually really good for 10.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rialto. Am I doing that one too? Right.
Mhm.
Rialto. 34 new listings. The average sold price is 484. The average listing price is 477. The average days on the market is 13 as well. 63 homes have sold. San Bernardino. 70 new listings. The average sold price is 429. The listing price is 432. So it's gone down. The average days on the market is 14, and the number of the homes sold is 151.
Oh, that's good. A lot of people are trying to sell in San Bernardino, it looks like. That's good. There's tons. San Bernardino's huge too, so
It
it's
is
a big
huge.
area. Okay, so Redlands. Currently, right now, we have 30 active listings on the market. 70 are pending under contract. 80 have closed. The average list price is $649. The average sale price is $626. So a little discrepancy in that, but you're still going to get top dollar over there for sure. I mean, Redlands is a hot area and has definitely gone up in value since COVID. So, and then the average days on the market is 19 currently right now. And then Colton, whoa, hello. 15 active listings on the market. I think that's a record for Colton because normally it's like 5. You know? So I think people are starting to understand that they're going to get a lot of equity and bang for their buck in Colton, and possibly move out if they wanted to. So right
They're
now,
not moving out. They're moving. They're finding a bigger lot in Colton. And moving all together.
That's true. You're right on that one. For sure. Actually, it's funny because I had someone that had wanted to list their house in Colton, and I've been following up with them for probably 2 years about this certain house. And every time it's like, you know what? No, I think we're gonna keep it. Our kids are gonna Marlena. Yeah, our kids are gonna live there. They're gonna live there. Don't worry about it. We'll probably won't sell for another couple years. I'm like, okay. So, but I just keep following up. But yes, they want to keep and stay in Colton. So yeah. So 17 are pending under contract. 28 have closed. Let's see. The average list price is $437, and then the average sale price is $425. So yeah, I mean, definitely, I've been seeing a little bit of the shift as there's not as many buyers overbidding on properties so much. I should say it's not going as high, and maybe the appraisal. I think the appraisals are coming in probably where they need to be now. So, and then the average days on the market is 12, which is probably about right in Colton for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Rancho Cucamonga, my hometown, or me and Katie's, I guess. Katie lives there too. So there's 71 active listings on the market right now. 114 are pending under contract, and 125 have closed. So the Rancho market is really picking up here tremendously. I mean, look at right now. Average list price is $806. $806. I just dumbfounds me right now. And then the average sale price is $820, and the average days on the market is 13. You know, just I think about something. I just a little story tidbit on Rancho. My mom back in '97, when Rancho was booming, she was actually looking at a new home in Rancho, and she was looking at Rancho and Redlands because they were going to buy. And back then, I want to say she said that the home that she was going to buy, and it was brand new, was like like $250. And I was like, what the heck? Like, can you imagine if she would have just stayed there the whole time and how much equity she would have? It's just crazy. So, yeah, Rancho, it's a hot area. Everyone wants to live here.
Probably would have had it paid off.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
by now.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Yeah,
Market,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nice homes in Rancho, though. I mean, you could definitely find some.
Hi, Josie.
Is it Josie? Every time I see a blank face, I think it is Josie. Is it Josie?
It is Josie.
Yeah.
Good morning, and
Okay.
yeah,
Hi.
it is Josie. So today I'm excited because we have a guest that, we're all about, girlpreneurs, it's, it just wasn't heard of, before, girls taking leaps of faith and just jumping in and becoming, their own, running their own businesses. So
Yeah.
I love Facebook. I love Instagram. You meet wonderful people. And I actually came across Cheryl, who is our guest, and I'm going to bring her on right now.
Okay.
But I came across her and just her vibe and my vibe, like we just kind of wanted to get to know one another better, just based on what we saw. So I, asked her to be a guest and she agreed. So I'm excited. She is a real estate agent, but she's much more than that. So I want her to explain and kind of go over that. So I am going to welcome Cheryl as our guest with us. Let me see, hold on real quick. Put some music on while we bring her in here. Yeah.
I love it.
Welcome, Cheryl.
Hi, girls. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Fabulous.
So thank you so much, Cheryl. Welcome. Thank you, Monique, for welcoming her. And like I said, thank you so much for, joining us this morning. So I'll give you the floor. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and share whatever you want to share.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes. So Sonia and I have not even met in person, but again, social media is so powerful that it brought us together. I don't even know how I started following her or how we were even following each other, but I saw a post that she made. I commented and I loved how she just responded back, and we just kind of, like she said, connected, and I feel like we have so much in common. So I'm so blessed to be on the show to see if whatever I may share, whatever I may bring to the table, to see if it's a blessing to anybody. So about 9 years ago, my husband and I started flipping houses. I was, in my previous life, I was a teacher. So in my mind, I grew up thinking college, master's degree, having a career, like that's what was taught to me. So
Right.
I came to this country when I was in the 6th grade, and that was like my mentality, all right, just get a job, get a career, and, focus on that. So what changed for me was when I got pregnant and I was going to become a mommy. I encountered that motherhood, like instinct of like, oh my goodness, do I want to go back to work and keep my career, or do I want to stay home and raise my baby?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, my husband had a corporate job, I had my job, and we really didn't have any options. We were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, I want to stay home, but we really were relying on my income as well. So my husband is always a dreamer, great ideas, always like finding new ways to do things.
Mm-hmm.
He used to watch flipping shows, right? And he said, well, if you want to stay home, why don't we start flipping? Like, okay, like, where is this even coming from? Like, I've never done it. I have no idea, what it takes. I don't even know how would go about it. But he put that challenge on me. He said, if we can get started with flipping, you can stay home. You can stay home with your baby, because that's what I wanted. So I found a way. I was like, I am making this happen. I don't even know how or what, but
Okay.
we just made it happen. We saw one of the people that we used to watch on TV. I don't know if you guys remember, like 9-10 years ago, Armando Montalongo, one of the first flippers. He was coming into town for like a little workshop or a little conference. So we signed up and we went to go learn what flipping is all about. So we went to that little workshop, and from there, obviously, they invite you over to like a bigger coaching program or workshop or whatever. So we went on to that, It was like a weekend thing. It was a couple of $1,000s. We went on to that, and from there, they invite you to like a bigger coaching opportunity where it's like one-on-one coaching, that was going to be like $40,000, right? So at that point, I told my husband, okay, I think like that's too much. I'd rather take those $40,000 and see if we can just go out on our own and start doing the flipping. So I told them, give me 30 days. Give me 30 days to put into action what we learned in that workshop, in that 3-day workshop. Give me 30 days and see if I can make it happen before we go out and spend another $40,000 to be, in this program. So yeah, you guys, sure enough, he allowed me to, well, not, I don't want to say allowed, but he gave
Supported you.
Yes, he gave, yes, because, he's the one that had to be working 70 hours a week for like the first few months for us to try to get like our flipping business. Because, with flipping, like you don't see the profit for like 6 months. It's like finding the property. Finding the property is the hardest thing, right? Finding the property, then rehabbing it and getting a buyer and everything. It was like 6 months. So he definitely was very supportive in that way. And yeah, after we did our first flip and I saw our profit like equal my yearly salary, I told myself like I could never ever just go back to what I was doing before. Like we started seeking more just freedom. It's not even the money. For us, it's more like the freedom to be the parents that we want to be, or to be the wife, husband that we want to be to each other. Yes.
I'm like, wait, what happened? Because she keeps coming on and off.
Oh, is it cut off? Did it cut her off?
Yes.
Is that what happened?
I don't know. We can't hear her anymore. Can you hear us, Cheryl?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I
Okay,
hear you
okay,
now.
good. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what happened?
Yes. We left
No,
the
that's awesome. And I think, that just goes to show, you definitely, have to be on the same page, whether you're doing it alone or whether someone's helping you, you definitely have to be on the same, have to see the same end result. You have to, and you have to also know that there's no guarantee, but and it's funny because your story reminds me of mine. When I first started, it was like, look, I'm going to do this. I don't know exactly how or what or when, but I'm just going to go for it. And all I knew was that I was going to give it 100%. That's all I knew. And I knew by doing that I couldn't fail because I knew what I was willing to do. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, women or male, it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of times, we don't have that confidence. And so we're kind of in and we're out and we're in and we're out because we're afraid to fail. But I think if you know what you're made of and you know what you're going to do every day, day in and day out, your results are going to be there regardless. And so it's nice to hear your words and everything else, because it's just confirmation as to the hard work you put in. I know a lot of people that went to that seminar. I actually had a client of mine who told me she went and she came to my office with this big old book that she got. She said, because she knows nothing about real estate. And she says, okay, so basically they told me I have to find distressed homes. How do I do that? And so it's like, you have to have all the pieces to the puzzle, because it's not that easy. If it was, obviously everybody would be doing it. Like you're saying, it takes time to get money back. Sometimes you don't get as much as you projected because there's issues that arise. There's so many things. And actually, Cheryl sent me a video last week of a home that she just bought, actually not too far from my home in Bullhead City, that she actually bought, and they could flip it or they're going to keep it to rent it. I don't know what you guys decided to do, but a very nice property. So it's just, tell us, like, do you find your own deals? How do you come up with the deals that you guys decide? And how do you decide if it's something you want?
Yes, for sure. So it's been a process of 9 years. 9 years of doing this. When people ask me like, "How are you doing this?" or "How are you getting the properties?" I honestly wish I could tell you guys like that secret like formula or like a way to do it. But each property I feel like comes with its own story. It's been all about building relationships.
Absolutely.
You meet people, you build relationships, you got to stay in the fire, you have to stay connected and to what you want to be doing. So I'm constantly trying to meet new people, build friendships, relationships. We are definitely a couple of our words. So if we say something, we go through it. We don't burn people. It's just like we believe in, if we're going to make some money, we want the other person to make some money too. We believe in building a team and abundance. Like if people ask me for help, like, "Hey, I want to start flipping," I'm taking people like under my wings, like left and right, because I believe like in abundance. There's enough for everybody out there. So sometimes an agent will bring me a deal because they have a good deal, but they don't know how to flip it. They don't know what to do. So I partnered up with people that way. I made friendships with people who are like that, have their own niche. Sometimes you got to find that, right? Like I have a realtor or an agent who's like amazing at getting me HUD properties because that's her niche. That's what she knows and does and searches on a daily basis. I have a relationship with somebody who is in the probate business. I have so it's just about building relationships and letting people do what they're good at and delegating and you doing what you're good at. Sometimes like, so I don't have the manpower anymore to be searching for deals like I used to 9 years ago. I mean, 9 years ago, I was on the phone all day long. My husband would be like, "Babe, this is a good property, call it." I'd be like calling it, trying to submit an offer. No offers were ever accepted at all, at all. I must have called like 1,000 properties. No offers were ever accepted until my husband was like, "We need to switch things up. What can we do better to improve our business?" So then we switched it to, we started calling the listing agent. And that's how I started making relationship with the listing agents. I would let them represent me. So that was like a double whammy for them. I got the property, and then later on, I would let them relist it. So that's how so much like so much like was built throughout the years, just by helping others while we were also trying to build the business. So I think that's how it's been. Like right now, I have properties that are brought to me just by previous relationships or different agents, and that's how we've worked our business pretty much.
That's good. Yeah, that's very interesting and very, very true. I myself, was never into, the flipping and everything else, but I can tell you how many deals that, we were able to give, to, like you said, to people we had relationships with who would, constantly call us and say, "Hey, if you have anything, let us know." And it's unfortunate though, because I wish I would have had a different mentality, at that time. But you just always thought that, like you're saying, let them handle what they need to handle, because that's not what I'm good at. But yeah, it is definitely really, really interesting. Good morning, Helen.
Hi, Helen. Yes, so I mean that's pretty much how it's been. And yes, my husband's very active in the business as far as like he's the one that has the eye for what's a good property, what's not. He's just again over the years, he's great at pulling comps, he's great at knowing the area. So for example, like we're expanding, we're wanting to go out of state. So we do have our first property in Arizona. And the way that we were able to acquire that property was also just by calling the agent and saying, "Hey, I'm like a strong investor in California. I want you to represent me. I really want this property." So she said yes at the beginning, right? And then I think she got flooded with so many calls that she forgot about me. She wasn't answering my calls anymore, responding. So then we figured, okay, we lost this property. We'll keep searching, keep searching. But my husband is like very persistent. He's always looking every single day. And one day he saw that property pop back up. And he's like, Arizona property's back on the market. Call it. So I'm the caller. I'm the caller, the doctor, the relationship builder, because I love that. And he's like behind the scenes. So yeah, I called this agent. I was like, hey, do you remember me from like 3 weeks ago? Blah 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 blah. She remembered me. She loved the persistency of it. She her previous buyer fell out of escrow, and I just reassured her that we would be solid buyers. And again, we were solid buyers and kept our word throughout the whole transaction. So that's probably another relationship that I have built in Arizona.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to, and Arizona is not really that far. So it is good to have, those relationships in the states, that actually border, where we're at, because there is a lot of opportunity in other states as well. So
Right.
that's awesome. That's really good. So where are you based out of, Cheryl?
Yeah, right now I'm in Ontario, California.
Oh, okay. So you're very close to us. That's where we are. We're in Ontario as well.
Yes.
So good to know. See, because I didn't even know that. So that's good to know. Definitely. So tell us what your week looks like. Because I know you have multiple streams of income. So you do have other businesses that you run. So tell us kind of what your average day looks like.
Wow, I get this question a lot, and I tell you, like, each day is so different, you guys, and like so different, right? We are my children are homeschooled, so they are with me pretty much 24/7. So it really depends on when my schedule calls. Like I have it's like checking up on properties, going to pick tile for this one property. Like yesterday, we were in LA checking out 2 properties that we have under contract and meeting with the contractors to get bid for that. After that, it's like 2 hours in traffic. I got home. I had a Zoom call at 5:30 because my other stream of income is I do Monat. I partner with Monat, which is anti-aging, hair care and skin care and wellness line. So I like to dedicate a lot of time to that as well, because it's just been like an amazing blessing for me. So I got home at 5:30 for a Zoom call. We did an opportunity call to show people the business. And then I hopped on another Zoom call at 6 o'clock because I have a Latino Monat group. So I do Latino Spanish speaking trainings on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, I do my English training. So my day's different, you guys. Like on Friday, we will be in Palm Springs because yesterday I got a call from an agent that he has this property that he wants to assign to me. So I told them, okay, the soonest I can be there is probably Friday. So we'll be there Friday, make a day of it. So our days are so different, but the beautiful part about it is the freedom. Like I always tell people, like, I think they misunderstand. They think it's all about money. And if people think that, like, fine, whatever. But for me, it is not about the money. It is about the freedom to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, and help others along the way. So that's kind of my journey right now. My husband still has his corporate job, but very, very, very soon, because of our multiple stream of income through Monat, he's gonna be leaving that job very, very soon, leaving that job, and he's gonna come and focus more on our real estate. Like he's gonna be more involved with our real estate, our flipping, our investments, because we want to grow in that way. I feel like we were very blessed to be put on this path. So if we can give back to people and help people, that's what we want to do. But our time is super, super limited because, like I said, he still is working a lot, but that's going to stop pretty soon. And we're going to focus on finding a way to build a team so that we can help other people flip. So we got to pan that out and and he's going to be more involved in this side, so I can be a little bit more involved with my Monet girls and helping them grow their business as well.
That's awesome. That's good. That's definitely a goal, for you guys, to obtain. I think that's good, and you, like you said, you just, the more people you help, and I've noticed that myself is, the more you help, the more things line up for you. Because it is important to share, it is important to share your gifts and, whatever it is that you have to offer, because there's a lot of people that can benefit from, whatever it is, that you share. And like you said, a lot of people do believe that they, they'll tell you this is how you do it, but they don't want to really tell you how to do it because they're afraid, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sharing. The likelihood of someone actually executing is very slim to none, right? You see all these people lining up, paying for these seminars, that's why these ads sell, all these ads like on Instagram, or I see all these ideas. People will pay for it, but they won't attend it. They won't execute it. They really don't, take full advantage of what they paid for. And they just want it to naturally happen and just be easy. And that's the thing. Nothing is, everything, there's work, and everything that we do. So, and you're, 9 years, like you said, it's been 9 years, and, you're finally reaping the benefits and you're feeling it. And that's awesome. That really is. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. I truly appreciate it. Like I said, you've been a wealth of information, and like I said, definitely, I'm sure, very inspiring, motivating to some. That I do have a few, girlfriends who are looking to, to quit their jobs, to start in, just to be, just taking that leap of faith. And they ask me, what are my thoughts? And I tell them, what, I can't hold your hand every day. I can't babysit you. I can't do any of those things. But if you know what, if you do what you have to do, and what you have to do, then there's nothing, there's nothing, you have nothing to lose. It's just, it just depends on why you're doing it.
Right.
Like you're saying, is it money? Is it freedom? Is it, doing something that you really love? Because I really feel passionate about what I do. And I think that's why, the success has been there because of that. When you're not passionate about it, you get burnt out very fast, because this business can be very draining, if you don't have that, but I got to make it happen. This is going to happen. It's because people do often tell me, how do you keep going? How do you keep going? And so it's just, for me, I love it. Challenges have always been something that I've loved. So,
Definitely.
But yeah.
When you're passionate about something, it's not work. It doesn't feel like work. I mean, it is a lot of doing and showing up and being consistent, and things do not happen overnight. And it's like failing, but you're really not failing. If you keep going, you're learning, so, and it's just kind of like getting over your fears, because every time you get over a fear, it's like, oh, that growth spurt happened, something happens. So I'm all about that. That. When people ask me, like, would you do it all over again, or should I do it? Like, should I be an entrepreneur? Should I stay home with my babies? I tell them I would do it all over again in a heartbeat, because it's such a different world. It's such a different world, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And if I can be of help to anybody, or if I can guide anybody, I mean, reach out to me. I'd be willing to have a discussion with you, a lunch with you, to share what I do, and if I can help anybody in any way.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, Cheryl. So thank you. We'll definitely take you up on it. We're so close. We would love to have you come in one day and, just share a story with us. It definitely will inspire some, I'm sure. And maybe those that are thinking about doing it, but just haven't, decided to do it. And basically all you got to do is you just got to go for it.
For sure.
You got to go for it. That's basically all it is. So, well, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you. Again, we're here every other week, just trying to, share some good information and bring you some value on your Wednesday morning. So I hope you guys all have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
You must be my lucky star. 'Cause you shine on me, baby.